Hey, this is Notser, and this is the Tier 5 Soviet cruiser, Kirov. We are on the patch 6.13, and this has received buffs in 6.13. Now we run into a Tier 5 Soviet destroyer and the Podvoisky, and I use hydroacoustic. Not 2 minutes prior, on my stream, I was complaining that only hydroacoustic was available to this ship. Well, I'm glad I had it. So we're going to engage this guy, of course. I think I have some sort of anti-aliasing issue, and I don't know why the guns were like right in front of the camera. You could just see the huge explosion for the guns, but friendlies take out the target, and I take a big citadel. A big, whopping citadel from Caesar. Please leave me alone, Julius Caesar. So I'm retreating, and the gun systems are what changed. In 6.12, on the public test server, they were teasing for 6.13 that they were going to look at a gun velocity increase and also reducing the time it took to reload the guns. They were going to make it from 15 seconds to 13.5. Well, they carried through on that buff. These guns indeed fire at a 13.5 second reload cycle, and it's really awesome, honestly. That 2.5 seconds, well, 1.5 second is very noticeable. But is that it? What happened to the gun velocity? Well, they just probably figured it didn't need it. That was overkill. That would put it into a category where it's just a little bit too powerful. But it doesn't look very powerful right now as we're retreating, trying to survive it. Thank you. Ooh. Sometimes the dispersion doesn't go in your favor, but it did go in my favor right there. Oh, I got so lucky. So I keep backing up. I do have AP loaded. I'm looking for the broadside shot. And of course, aim too high. My teammates are on this flank though, so I feel pretty safe considering we lost 80% of our life. I rounded an island and ran smack dab into not only the enemy destroyer at under 4 kilometers, so his torpedoes could actually be useful, but also 4 other enemy ships, or 3 other enemy ships, 4 total. And that's not really fun in a Soviet cruiser at point blank range. It's probably the one thing they're bad at. They suck at avoiding shots at close range. You have to be near max range, rely on that gun velocity. And that's what I ended up doing. I retreated back. Team have pretty good representation on this flank. And I don't really like what I see on the western flank though. We don't have anyone over by the points that we have on the west. Most of my team is all the way in the north. Maybe it's a combination of me running into that destroyer and the couple enemy ships. It could also be that that's where they were eventually going. But there's a huge opening in the west, an opportunity that the enemy is not going to pass up. So I decide to head out west. Now, you might be curious, what's my build? I've got concealment, expert marksman, demolition expert, and priority target. I think I also picked up manual AA, which is so useful when there's no CVs whatsoever on either side. So obviously that doesn't have an impact at all to this game. And funny enough, I was having to answer, why am I not using the stock hull? The stock hull has access to an aircraft. Now, if the upgraded hull didn't give me a lot of nice things like more health, faster maneuverability, and also tripled my AA effectiveness, I probably would say, yeah, go with the stock hull. But you're giving up way too much base stats to get access to an aircraft that is not going to be that useful. So that's why I'm using the upgraded hull. I had never run into that, but I just wanted to qualify it, clarify if you had a question. Now, friendly DD is dead. The enemy is absolutely going to capture B, without a doubt. And I'm looking to try and fire on that cruiser who came from sort of the north side, sort of friendly spawn side. And I'm sure he was trying to crash down on the friendly, which they succeeded. But he could also potentially show himself around the island. And yes, here he is. Nice to see you, Al-Jadi. We are bottom tier, so don't expect me to, I'm low health. I have to manipulate the geometry of the islands. Hopefully friendlies can spot. And unfortunately, I have AP loaded. So I kept AP loaded, and I'm going to fire again, and he's just angled. It's not going to work. So I unload the gun and switch to HE. Is it the most ideal shot with AP? No. But of course, dispersion. That lovely lady dispersion showed us exactly what I should have done. Not care, because you weren't going to hit it anyway. So, reload the gun. We've got HE loaded, and we don't set a fire on our first shot. And I kind of want to move out of this island because we're very close to the island, stopping the shells. Just, they clear it by about, probably 3 meters, 5 meters. But I'm going to try and make sure that we can continue to fire on the target. We do set on fire, which is fantastic. And I think he's going to just burn. I don't know why he didn't put it out. Maybe he was like, you know what, that cruiser change, fires only last for 30 seconds. I'm going to allow it to burn. Well, yeah, but you're low. I'm sure he already used it. I'm just teasing. And we're still behind islands. The islands are layered in such a way that you can really make good use of it in this northern flank. So, unload HE, switch to AP. Of course the target angles in, but it kind of looks like he wants to angle back out. He's sort of leaning that way, so I lead him expecting he does that. And we get a pretty good side shot. We get a citadel as well. And, it's only 1.5 second improvement to the reload, but that makes a really big difference. You can keep up the firepower. It's a little bit easier to disrupt someone trying to capture the base, and it just feels better. This ship always felt very awkward. Some of the Japanese, like the Atago, it feels kind of awkward at times with its rate of fire, but you also get a more maneuverable ship, torpedoes that are actually useful in more things than just self-defense. This ship is not really like that. These torpedoes are like 3.5, 4 kilometers. Oh yeah, by the way, this guy's backing up. So we're going to aim right at the waterline and aim as he's retreating. He probably was like, yeah, I don't really going to deal with that. But you got to deal with me. So we get another citadel, and here comes a Colorado. Now the Colorado, he's pretty slow. Oh boy, is he slow. I feel so bad for anyone who has to play the Colorado on a speed standpoint. You're a tier 7, you're going up against cruisers and destroyers, battleships, even aircraft carriers that are topping at 30, 33, 35, and you've got a maximum speed of 21 knots without the speed flag, obviously. It's a chore. It's a real chore. But I don't really care. I want him to die. So, fire the last of my HE. He is broadside. I wasn't lucky and set a fire, but AP on a broadside battleship, you can't pass this up. You've got to go for it. And I'm really thankful that my teammates are out in the open, spotting the target. He does turn in a little bit, but there is a carcass going down. Perhaps he's going to straighten out, go broad, allow me to penetrate. He is a slow battleship, so I'm not giving a 1-to-1 lead. I'm giving more like a 60% lead. And that looks pretty good. 4K, can't really complain. And now he's basically max speed. Yeah, max speed. I'm just doing the whole like Austin Powers. Yeah, right. Air quotes. And yeah, he keeps going forward, but he's just not going to successfully cap. He's out in the open, perfectly broad. I understand his interest in pushing forward, but you can't take this kind of damage and survive very long. And I'm sitting in a position where no one can scout me except for him, just as he rounds the island. I really have limited the enemy's potential counterplay to this tactic, and I was so sure that we would kill him right there, but of course we didn't, and we all know what's going to happen, right? Everyone say it with me. Someone else is going to get the kill. And this enemy October Revolution is going up against a friendly. And I'm going to try and fire on him. But first, the Cleveland, backing up slowly. I would love to use my torpedoes, but I just can't. And look at that broadside damage. Oh yeah. Looks like he's heading forward. We're going to fire at him. We're going to kill him. And that's how everything's going to work out. The game is not going to end before the shells make contact. Of course, the game ends before the shells make contact. But the Kirov felt pretty good. We did 72,000 damage with 2 kills. I was pretty surprised by the ability to survive at the end. I thought for sure I was going to die to that Julius Caesar. But we survived. Bottom tier, top on the XP earned, and I was really happy. Rate of fire felt pretty good. I didn't feel like the ship was giving up as long as I played it correctly, at max range, fired on targets that were obvious. It felt really usable. I hope you enjoyed seeing this new version in 6.13. Hope you have a fantastic day, and I'll catch you next time.